Hello everybody and welcome to Cape Rugby. You're on Cape Town TV. Long overdue. Finally we have a rugby show in Cape Town. With me, my guests on the panel this evening, Herman Abrams, the Deputy CEO of Western Province Rugby Football Union. Hello Herman.
Good evening, JP.
Nice to have you here.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
Wanneer believe you? SK Warmers? You can't leave them ever, huh?
No, SKW for life. Good evening, JP.
En Ashwin Spraak, Belha, into Super League A. Meneer, welkom hierso.
Goeienaand, JP. Lekker om hier te wees, dankie.
Meneer, kom ons begin bietjie met jou. Ons wil nou 'n bietjie uitvind meer van club rugby. Ek meen dis nou ons eerste show en die mense wil natuurlik weet wat se verskil tussen professionele rugby en amateur rugby en natuurlik club rugby hier in die Weskaap is natuurlik die grootste club rugby organisasie in die wêreld.
Well, ek hoop it is. But it is a big organization.
Yeah.
We have 90 clubs that's affiliated. They have 17,000 players. Then we have a league out in the rural areas. And we have a league, a Sunday league, out in the townships. We have a number of schools, 120 high schools, 250 primary schools. So it's a big organization.
Big organization. So what exactly is the core function of the Western Province Rugby Football Union? Well, I mean, what do? You've got 17,500 players. You've got 15,000 primary school players, 10,000 high school players. I mean, in essence, you're administering just in the rugby space close on 40,000 players. And then there's not to talk about medics and referees and all those kind of things that has to be on the side of the field as well. What exactly does the Western Province Rugby Football Union do?
Maybe we are the custodians of rugby in Western Province.
The custodians of rugby.
That means that we must see that everything that happens on the rugby field is according to the book.
So you're not actually at ground level holding the hands of every club. I mean, you're the administrators of the game.
We make sure that they understand the rules. We train the referees for them. We train the coaches for them.
Okay.
Do all those kind of things.
So sort of a pyramid structure, top down to bottom.
And we make sure that they have the fixtures, that they have the logs.
Munip, I mean, let's look at your side of things. You've been with SK Warmers for the last 65 years now. You're looking younger by the day.
Thanks, JP.
Maar toe jy nou by SK Warmers, terwyl jy daar nou is, hoeveel kontak het die klub met die Unie?
With the union, we have, if there's issues we need to resolve, if we're not sure of any bylaws or rules or regulations, then we will contact the union. At the beginning of the year, the union will give us our fixtures so we know when we play, who we play on whatever Saturday. And we try to use the union's expertise where it's possible.
Ashwin, you guys have just moved up, Belha, into Super League A. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You worked pretty hard for that.
New kids on the block, yeah.
New kids on the block, 100%. During that time, it was a big season for you guys last year. You couldn't stop working. Did you get support from the union to get yourself there, or was it you guys digging deep to move into Super League A?
Well, it's always difficult between seasons, you know. It's up to the club to work hard, and you mentioned working hard from one league to the other. We at Belha believe that we do things ourselves. We always have the support of the union. We firmly believe in the union is the body that supports us. So, yeah, but we are now on our own. We did most of our graft. Yeah,
well, congratulations. I mean, fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic performance there, you guys, last season, and we're glad to see that you have come up to Super League A. Mr. H, kom ons gaan gou 'n bietjie terug na jou toe. A lot of questions people often have is, the Stormers, you get Western Province Rugby, and then you get refs. What exactly is the difference between what is called the Western Province PDY, being the professional side of things, and then the union, the amateur side of things? Where do you split the two?
The PDY is a company that we created. We own 75% of the shares.
So you own the Stormers?
Yes.
The union owns the Stormers?
That's right.
Okay.
And
get some tickets.
The clubs own that 75%.
The clubs.
Yeah.
How many? 90 clubs.
90 clubs.
So you're saying basically that there's shareholders.
Shareholders.
The union.
Shareholders.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know.
And it's all club rugby.
Yeah.
All about passion and pride. Very few people realize that there are 22 clubs that's older than 100 years in Cape Town.
More than 100 years?
More than 100 years.
You didn't play for any of those clubs. Junior rugby. How strong are we with junior rugby? I was speaking to your assistant or your chief administrator, should I say, Faisal Felton at the union today. And he says he, over the last few weeks, registered something like another 2,500 players. So clearly you've got some a movement in the ranks of juniors coming through to play club rugby. Is our junior rugby strong?
Our junior rugby is exceptionally strong, and I think a lot has to do with the performance of Western Province teams also, under 19, under 20.
Yes.
If they win, you know, that
Of course,
culture,
you won everything last year.
We won everything
except for the Currie Cup.
For the main thing, yeah.
So
and the
trophies.
Vodacom, which again fell out.
No, but I mean, in seriousness now, I don't think people realise this. You won the under 13 Craven Week and a 19 Craven New Week. You won the under 19 Vodacom Cup, and I mean, how many more? You won everything.
The women's competition.
The women's competition, that was also fantastic. Ek meen, dis nogal 'n groot kas wat jy nodig het.
Amateur, the Dizers.
The Dizers, the amateurs,
Yeah.
A clean sweep, behalwe vir die een match daar by in Soweto. Ja, gaan ons hierdie jaar vat?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I'm very confident that we will be there and that we'll have the trophy. We better do so because...
Interesting structure, of course. And folks, we will, during the course of the show, be talking about all forms of rugby that we're interested in, not just club rugby and school rugby and junior rugby, but every now and then we'll touch on a little bit about what's happening in the Super 15 and Springbok and the Tri-Nations. I mean, we're all just rugby fans, so, you know, we'll include the whole lot. And, of course, during that time, we'll get some of the rugby superstars into the show as well, and will join us on the panel. But before we carry on, I think many of our viewers have been wondering what exactly these jerseys are up here. Now, just before we got started with Cape Rugby, our very first show, as you know, here on Cape Town TV, we put out a call via the Western Province Club Rugby website. We asked the folks to contribute in any possible way, shape or form. Ons het ook vir hulle gevra op Twitter en op Facebook om vir ons bietjie te help. En een van die gedagtes wat toe opgekom het was, hoekom gooi ons nie die jerseys op die muur agter ons nie? Okay, so ons het nou 'n paar jerseys daar agter, maar mense, julle moenie worry nie. Ons wag nog steeds vir julle om al julle jerseys te gee, sodat ons 'n groot muur vol jerseys here. So I need you guys to help me out a little bit here, and let's just go through some of the jerseys. Of course, on the back wall here now, and I'm sure you can see behind me here, far left, UCT.
That's right.
In the middle, Hamilton's. You said Hamilton's, the oldest rugby club in South Africa?
Oldest, 136 years old.
Ashwin, did you actually play in this jersey yourself?
Oh, yes.
Played in it?
Yep.
All right, Belha. In front of us over here, we've got Collegians on the right-hand side. Oh, sorry, I meant...
Well done, JP, well done.
I meant the SK Warmers. Of course, there's a fierce rivalry between those two teams every year.
It's healthy.
Of course, not this year because there's a difference in the leagues. Yeah. And on the right-hand side, I think, is Primrose. So the folks did contribute. Lots of clubs came on board at the very last minute to help us with basically our set. Over the course of time, you'll see the sets will change. We ask you to be patient with us, but we're going to make this the leading rugby show ever. Also, still got a couple more jerseys here that we didn't, have all that space to put up, and we'll still get around to that. Young Wesley's. There we go, Young Wesley's. Mr. H, do you know, weet jy wie vir ons hierdie jersey gegee?
Yeah.
Wie was it? Can you
the chairman of the club brought it himself.
The chairman of the club?
Yeah.
You're allowed to tell me his name if you want to. The Young Wesley's then. All Guard. Okay, it's not All Guard, it's Perseverance. Okay, some fantastic stuff there from Perseverance. Also, I think Boeta Joe brought me that one. Joseph is my gebring. Ja, Joe het my elke naweek kom kuier. So, is All Guard nog steeds 'n sponsor daarso? Anyways, los maar daai vir 'n later show.
That club is also 122 years old this year.
Perseverance.
Yeah. They didn't play in the same jersey, but
Daai jersey lyk kom. And we've also got a nice contribution here from Elsie's River. Okay, so guys, jump in, be part of the family, be part of the show, be part of the Cape Town TV family. We want to include your stories, we want to include your jerseys, your badges, your community, everything. So make sure that you tell everybody that your rugby life is now being covered right here on Cape Town TV. And of course, what a bonus for your sponsors. Think about that. There we've got Bluestone on the on Boyson's on the Belhar jersey. Hemmy's has got a sponsor on there. FNB's over there. I mean, this jersey alone, Catalyst Consulting. So, you know, get involved and get your sponsors a little bit extra. I think it's time, though, for us to move speedily along. History of Western Province Rugby is, of course, strong. Been around a very long time. Ashwin, maak dit 'n verskil vir julle in terme van 'n klub wat tradisie het. Hoe belangrik is die tradisie vir 'n klub? Hoe belangrik is dit in die gemeenskap van die mense dat daar jy weet 'n geskiedenis is van die mense wat voor julle gekom het?
Natuurlijk baie belangrik, JP. Jou mense in jou omgewing, hulle identifiseer hulle self met 'n klub en hulle identifiseer met voorgangers of spelers wat voorheen by 'n klub gespeel het. So dis baie belangrik dat daardie aspek in plek is sodat dit die gemeenskap bymekaar hou en die gemeenskap na die veld toe lok en natuurlik die ondersteuning van die klub deurbring.
Voel jy dat lede van daai gemeenskap, van die mense wat miskien rugby gespeel het en goed rugby gespeel het, rolmodelle is vir die jong kinders?
Definitief. In 'n gemeenskap soos Belhar waar ons weet dinge soos misdaad en al die tipe goedjies altyd inkruip, is dit belangrik dat daai mense die klub kom ondersteun. Ook rolmodelle wees vir die klein kinders wat deur die stelsel kom en ook spelers raak van die klub. Dit hou jou misdaadsyfer af en dit hou jou kinders besig.
Hou hulle besig, hou hulle van die strate af. Maar it hasn't been easy though. I mean, we've heard it now, more than 130 years of club rugby. South Africa's been through some of the toughest times that one can imagine. Things like the Group Areas Act, apartheid, etc. Clubs had it very tough over so many years. Some clubs had it very easy. We're not going to mention which. But how did it affect your club, for example, SK Warmers, going back over the years, you know, when communities were split and clubs, people who would get together on a Saturday would play rugby every Saturday. I mean, I was at Young Gardens in Paarl the other day with Peter de Villiers, talking to him about the history of Young Gardens, a Paarl club that has been very successful, and speaking to Peter about how their community was literally split overnight, people thrown in the back of a truck and split. How difficult is it to overcome those type of challenges?
I mean, the great thing that happened was when they declared District 6 a white area, and a lot of the clubs was based in District 6, and then all the people were moved over to the various parts of the Western Cape. So it just didn't disrupt the clubs, but it disrupted communities also. And they went to places where there was no facilities. So it was actually quite challenging for them. And then the other factor that came in, because all those clubs played at Greenpoint Track, not the stadium, Greenpoint Track. So now this...
I used to play at the track a bit myself.
Okay, it's good. and then it incurred cost to those clubs as well, because now to travel from the Cape Flats to Greenpoint Track, something which they didn't have before, and it actually broke up some clubs as well because people just couldn't exist.
Couldn't afford to get on.
That's true.
Find transport, money, extra food, everything.
Exactly.
You must remember, a bag of oranges.
You must remember on a Sunday when rugby was played at Greenpoint Track, it was just more about, it was more than rugby. It was actually bringing families and communities together under one roof, and it would be a whole day rugby.
And it's interesting that now, so far down the line, just the word, the track, has become like synonymous with SK Warmers and a dangerous place to go. As hulle vir jou sê, ek kry vir jou die Saterdag by die track, then you know it's going to be a big game. Mr. H?
Yeah, I've listened to what Muniba said now, but you know, the one thing about the past was the pride that we had in what we were doing. When I went to rugby, I made sure that my boots were polished, that my shorts were ironed.
The night before.
The night before, you know, and you walked to the field. Nobody picked you up. Nobody begged you to come there. And you hoped that you could get a second game. You know? So it was all about pride in being there. That's why I get annoyed when people come and they, you know, plead poverty. We can't be poor for the rest of our lives. We need to stand up and do what we think is right.
But it's interesting, and again, sitting around the table with Peter de Villiers and talking about Young Gardens, talking about the fact that the weeks during the week it was so tough. Apartheid, depressing people, making it difficult for families, difficult to work. You know, some of us were privileged to not necessarily have undergone those kind of things, and we have to listen to the stories and try and hope that we build on the history and not forget that history. But he went on to talk about the fact that Saturdays was the chance where everybody got together, the community united, whereas it was a tough week, long hours, little food, but come Saturday, it was a team united on the field.
That's where you also took your frustrations out on your opponents.
Yes.
I can
absolutely imagine, yeah. So, Mr. H, then the next question obviously comes to you. It's been a tough road for everybody. We are here now. There's no reason for us to not be moving forward. We're getting opportunities, transformation and development. It's one of the big mandates, not only here at Cape Town TV. I mean, of course, that's something that we're focusing, social development within the Cape Town area, and that is what Cape Town TV is all about, is stimulating and helping the community and finding different ways to support the transformation development process. One of the mandates for Western Province Rugby Football Union is, of course, transformation and development. How are we doing on those two levels?
I attended the Western Province Transformation Committee meeting the other night, and I told them they must please tick off all the boxes that we've completed, because there are many boxes that's done. The only reason why people are still talking about transformation is when a Western Province or Stormers team run out, and then they count, there's only one black, there's only two colours. All the other things in the union is totally transformed. When I came there in 1992, I was part of the people that sat around the table to get unity, and everything was white. Today it's completely changed.
Different
Executive,
colours, mixed.
Everything, all the subcommittees.
Yeah.
I think the white people are, it's a scarce commodity at the moment. They are the quotas in the
Yeah, I know. There's we don't even have one on the show anymore. Folks, on that note, we're gonna take a little break. But before we do that, of course, we ran an SMS competition during the week, and we asked those of you on Facebook and Twitter to tell us who is the official sponsor, sports nutrition sponsor to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. And our lucky winner over the course of the last 24 hours was, of course, Chantel Steer. And Chantel wins for herself a 500 Rand Evox sports nutrition hamper. And of course, if you want to find out more about Evox, one of our proud supporters, at least, one of our proud supporters of the Cape Rugby Show, go and visit their website, www.evox.co.za, or go check out the Club Rugby website, www.wpclubRugby.co.za. Don't forget, you can enter that same competition, and we'll do that draw here weekly. And all you need to do is tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Send your answer to 32010. Gentlemen, I think it's time for us to take a look at the logs. All right, it's been pretty early in the season still. We haven't got any matches now because, of course, it was Easter weekend and lots of holidays. In fact, I've never seen so many holidays in my life. I don't feel like I worked like about a month ago. But let's take a look at start at the top. Let's start at Super League A. Yeah. Ashwin, it's your first time in Super League A. It's pretty tough, eh?
Yeah, JP, like I said earlier on, new kids on the block.
Yeah.
What a trip up to now. We didn't expect it to be easy.
Yeah.
We expected that this league will definitely be a step up from what we're used to. And let's call it Super League B and Premier League A. But yeah, we're facing the challenges. We're learning each week, and we're going stronger.
Okay, so if you take a look at Super League A, yeah, I mean, both of you actually can answer this question. You're both sitting here in Super League A. SK Warmers, I think, sitting down there in 6th position at the moment. Belhar. Okay, I'm not going to tell people where you're sitting in Belhar. We're going to leave that for the people, our viewers, to work out themselves. I'm going to just say that it's less than 9. Which are the big teams to watch out for?
Firstly,
SK Warmers, who's your biggest threat?
all other 9 teams is a threat, because on the day anyone can beat anyone.
The league's tough now.
The league is very tough.
False Bay's done well.
Yeah, last year Falsby did well. They started off slow this year. They've won one out of 3.
Right.
So it's been quite a different challenge for them this year than to last year. And last year they were the new kids on
Why
the
would
block.
you say that is? Why would you? I mean, they started with such a bang last year when I think they beat Hamilton's in their opening game. Coming now into the second season back in Super League after fighting their way back in, after they were in and then they were out and they fought it back in. What would have made the difference to the opening of the season this year?
I think what happened last year was everyone just thought Falls was coming from the Super League B and
They
they would,
underestimated them.
yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
But if I look at this year, I think no one is doing that. And the other thing is every year, especially in the Super League A and Super League B, teams get stronger and people strengthen their squads.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
very
your opening
highlighted.
game, I think, was against Marty's, right? This
Yeah,
year. Tough match.
what a tough one that was
Yeah.
to start off with. But yeah, we came off. Marty's were down 2 losses for, let's call it the last Varsity Cup match.
Yeah.
So losing a third time was not on for Marty's. But yeah, a difficult one to start off with. Like I said earlier on, we took a couple of notes out of that one. So we'll
Let's
be
take a look
prepared
at,
when they come back.
I'm sure you. I'm sure you. You always get them at the end of the Varsity Cup. Don't get them at the beginning of the Varsity. Super League B, gentlemen. Let's take a look. Super League B, not an easy league. Belleville currently at the top, followed by Tygerberg and Brackenfell. Ashwin, your top team there.
I would give Brackenfell a go here with Tygerberg outside chance of taking the league.
Manib Collegians still fighting it out. Great passion, great team. Are they going to crack it?
Not this year. They've got a young team,
Yeah.
but give them 3-4 years, they're going to crack it.
Let's take a look at Premier League A, gentlemen. St George's, Kraaifontein and Scottsdale. Mr. H, Premier League A?
St. George's has been knocking on the door for a long time.
Yeah.
But Kraaifontein is a club that is, you know, resuscitating themselves and trying to get back into the big league. So they will do.
Beetje gesukkel daar so met coaches in die laaste jare
Yep.
geweest by Kraaifontein. Ja. Premier League B dan meneer Solorians. Hier's 'n klub wat laas jaar 'n bietjie lawaai gemaak het, né?
Yeah, and if you look at them this year, they've got Wayne Julius, David Hendricks playing, and Quentin Davids there as well. So
Yeah.
they
All
definitely-
ex-Belleville players.
That's correct.
that's correct, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Strand United in Franschhoek. Franschhoek's a passionate little club.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Strand should do it.
Okay.
I just want to, something that we must note. Premier League A, Premier League B, Division 1, Division 2, all those clubs come from the Somerset, Helderberg region that is in number 1 at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
all.
impressive. Why is that? Why are they doing so well?
I was born in that area, maybe
Oh,
it's
that
got
must
something
be
to do with
good genetics, net. Kom ons kyk gou hierso na Divisie 3 mense, Caledonian Roses, Retreat and Violence, Perseverance daarso. Ons het net maar die Perseverance jersey gewys. Ook 'n paar sterk spanne in daai area daarso.
Yeah, the legendary Kasim Jabbar's team is
Kasim Jabbar.
finally at the
Skamskakel,
top.
né?
Yeah, that's correct.
Skamskakel al
Caledonian
terug in die
Roses.
dag. Ja, vir die Saro gespeel mos
Ja,
terug in die
ja.
dag. Ons gaan nog kyk mense hierso op Cape Town TV op Cape Rugby gaan ons nog kyk na die geskiedenis van rugby in die Kaap. Daai is daar wat ons nie van gaan van vergeet nie. En ons vra vir julle almal om vir ons asseblief julle ou foto's te stuur. Folks, we're asking you to send us your footage of any games that you might have archived. We want to build up and help the process together with the union and the Western Province Club Rugby website to build that archive of club rugby history. So if you've got that old black and white photograph at home, stuur gerus vir ons. Ons wil dit hê en ons wil seker maak dat ons dit sommer daar agter op die muur plak saam met die res van die foto's. Right, daar is nog 'n paar dinge wat ons hierso moet verbykom. Kom ons sê maar dis nou die huiswerkkant van die dinge. Ons wil natuurlik weer eens van ons borge Evox borg. Evox is of course the sports nutrition supply to the DHL Stormers and the Western Province rugby teams. Remember, if you are a club rugby player, go and visit the WP Club Rugby website. I believe that club rugby players get special offer there. So go and check that out. That might be something of interest to you. And of course, the leisure group. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to go check out Strand Towers in Cape Town. There's an accommodation facility second to none. En ek dink julle wil 'n bietjie daar gaan kyk as jy 'n knertjie wil reg wil hê op die naweek. Mr. H, sê jy mee staan?
Ek stem samen, yes. Prachtige plek.
A quick question here then that we did get in from on our website, and it is a question for you, Ashwin, from Belhar Kappa on our forum on the Club Rugby website. Ask the question, are your youngsters ready for Super League A?
I think the guys realized in the past 2 games that we've played that this league is no jokes.
Yeah.
So we're gearing the guys for the step up. We've done preparations together with our coaches. We're doing the hard yards. So
Yeah.
they'll be ready. They'll be ready.
Kurt Luke Lewis on Facebook, and he was at Young Gardens the other day, and he's actually sent us a photograph of his team. Take a look at this. This is Kurt Luke Lewis's photograph on Facebook, his profile photograph in actual fact. And Kurt asks the question, Mr. H, do you send selectors out to the teams?
Let me put it this way, there's a lot of matches being played every Saturday, and we've only got 4 or 5 selectors. What we've turned it around and say, if you have a player that you think is good enough, let us know. We'll come and watch him.
Fantastic stuff. So they are getting out there, and we are going to continue exploring that process then. Of course, tonight, folks, it was pick of the week matches. We asked Faisal Felton, our chief administrator at Western Province Rugby Football Union, to give us his picks of the weeks. Vicks up against Belhar, False Bay and Marties. And this Friday, coming up, it's Brackenfell and Bellville, Young Peoples and Tygerbergs. Those are the big ones. Once again, a big thank you to the Leisure Group, Evox Nutrition, for making it possible for us to be here. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me on Cape Rugby TV, here on Cape Town TV. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Ashwin, Munib, Mr. H, we'll see you guys again soon. For the rest of you out there, don't forget to follow us on www.capetowntv.org. The Cape Rugby Show on Twitter is on @CapetownTV. Search for us on Facebook. That's where you can ask all the questions. And don't forget to check out that Club Rugby website, www.wpclubrugby.co.za. From all of us here at Cape Rugby on Cape Town TV, we'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. I'm JP Naude. Bye-bye.